Okay. All right, it's 7 o'clock and the meeting of the Personnel Administrative Affairs Committee is being held on Monday, November 1st, 2021 at 7 PM in the Aldermanic Chamber, as well as via Zoom teleconference. To access Zoom, please refer to the agenda on the city's website for the meeting link. I'll take the roll call
Alderman Karen,
here.
Alderman Clemmons,
Here.
Alderman Lopez,
Here.
Alderwoman Kelly. She's absent.
Yeah.
Alderman Cleaver.
Here.
You have 4 in attendance.
Okay, thank you.
Also in attendance.
Yep. Alderman Kelly wasn't sure she was going to be able to join us this evening. Thank you. Also in attendance is His Honor Mayor Jim Donchis, Alderman Lou, Alderman Clee, and President Wilshire. This time we'll take public comment. Is there anyone in the chamber who has anything to say concerning tonight's agenda? Okay, anyone on Zoom?
See anybody with their hand raised?
No. Okay. Okay, communications.
There are none?
Okay, interviews. Mayor, we have the Hunt Legacy trustees, Harriet Young.
Let me just go through a minute.
Sure, certainly.
We have there are a number, there are a number of nominees that are, been nominated, but we have 2 in the audience who I can invite up. And when the time comes, and I think 2 on Zoom, but we may have more on Zoom, I'm not sure. But I do not believe, I know that Marjorie Bollinger Hogan is here in person, and Liz Rachapi is, I understand, on Zoom.
Okay.
I don't think Harriet Young is here, but
Yes,
unless
she-
she's on Zoom.
I'm here. Hi.
Oh, okay, well then, oh, okay, there's Harriet, thank you. I didn't see you.
Okay, so Harriet Young is, you have appointed her to the Hunt Legacy trustees. So
I ha-
would you like to give a background, and we'll take each one?
Well, the Hunt Legacy trustee is, someone who oversees the trustee fund, and I think Ms. Young can give a little bit about her background and why she's interested in being a trustee.
Okay. Ms. Young, would you like to give the committee a little bit of your background and why you would like to be appointed to the Hunt Legacy Committee?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm a local ER physician. I work at St. Joseph's Hospital. I've been there for 13 years. I've actually lived in Nashua for 18 years, so I've been here for quite a while. I'm also with the Nashua Chamber Orchestra. Been there, let's see, probably for about 15 years with the local Nashua Chamber Orchestra. And so I know some of the fellow musicians in the Nashua area. So I like to serve to help the community, and also to learn about how it works.
Okay. Anything else?
Is there anything else you would like to know about me?
Okay, well, let's see if the committee has any questions. Alderman Lopez.
Yep. Thank you for being interested. It sounds like you're good at committing to something and you have a strong sense of community involvement. Have you attended any of the Hunt trustee meetings in the past? Are you familiar with the board?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I think she said no. We're having a hard time with the audio. Okay, anyone else from
sorry,
the
yeah,
committee with questions? Anyone not on the committee have any questions? Okay, all right.
I do serve on the board for the Nashua Chamber Orchestra. I think I've been on it for over a year now. And then I'm actually at the, I'm a member of we have a hospital committee called the Professional Development Program that I'm on as well. So I'm trying to be more involved in the community with my hospital and with the orchestra. So this is like I'm relatively new at this, so I'm learning, but I'm actually willing to learn.
Great. Well, thank you, and we thank you for your willingness to serve on this committee. We will be voting for all of these appointments later on in the meeting, and you will be contacted as to when to attend a Board of Aldermen meeting to be sworn in. Thank you. Okay, so Mayor, we have the Ira Harris Lecture trustees. We have Marjorie Bollinger Hogan.
Yes, could she
And
please come up?
Yeah, sure. Is Liz here as well? No,
I think she's on Zoom.
she's on Zoom.
That's what someone
Okay,
said.
thanks, Liz. We'll start with Marjorie. Okay, Mayor, you're up.
Marjorie, why don't you come over here? You don't have to, you can just sit down, that would be fine. So I think these trustee appointments are actually possibly by the President of the Board of Aldermen and, or at least suggested. But I said I would be here to, if President Wilshire wasn't here, I'd be here to introduce them. So Marjorie is well known to the community. She's been very active in the arts. She's a very, very accomplished musician, a flutist, I think. And she served on many community organizations. This would be helping to oversee the Ira Harris Trust. And I think she's well-suited, well-qualified, very intelligent, and accomplished person who, I think we're very lucky to have her interest. And with that, I will ask Marjorie to say a few words as to why she's interested, and then, of course, questions from the committee.
Thank you very much, Mayor Donches. I've been involved in the community for a really long time. I don't even know how long. I've been directing the Merrimack Valley Flute Choir since 1998, so I've kind of been involved even before I lived here. I was in the Nashua Flute Choir too back in '93, so I love Nashua. I have time and I have interest, and I know that the Harris Trust runs some wonderful cultural programming, and I'm just here to serve and help the group.
Thank you. President Wilshire, do you have anything to say about Marjorie, since she was your appointment and you happen to be here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've known Marjorie for many years now. She is very involved in the community, and I appreciate her stepping up to take on one more activity, and appreciate it. Thank you, Marjorie.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the Personnel Committee? Alderman Lopez.
I don't know why it has to be me, but I'm not actually familiar with the Iris Harris trustees. Somebody could give me a summary?
It's a library trust, and I think the people at the library have talked with Marjorie, or you've talked with them?
Carol Lyman asked me if I'd be willing to serve on the committee. One of the things they do is the Box Lynch series.
Oh, okay, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Box spelled B-A-C-H.
Mhm.
And now I understand the connection between a flautist and a devoted music fan.
Okay, anyone else from the committee? Okay. Alderman Lou,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Just wondering, how many other, how many other boards do you serve on currently, of the city, commissions?
I'm currently on the Board of City Arts Nashua, and I recently served on the Master Planning Committee.
I see. Okay. I recognized your name, and I thought I'd seen it many, many times.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Mayor, would you like to speak to your other appointment to the Ira Harris trustees?
Now,
Liz?
I think this is President Wilshire's as well, but Liz Rachapi is yeah, you can go back. Liz is, again, like Marjorie, very active in the community. She's been head of the Nashua Arts Commission, chair of the Nashua Arts Commission, and was chair when the The master plan, the arts plan was prepared. She is a small business woman, has owned a business here in Nashua for some period of time, located in the South End. Very active in various arts activities. You see her at many art events and community events around the city. And I will let Liz, assuming she's still on Zoom, tell you a little bit about her interest in the Ira Harris trustee board.
Yes, she's here. Thank you. Liz?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good enough. Thanks. Well, first of all, I'm honored to be invited to serve once again, this time with the library.
Sorry.
It's been a number of years since I've actually been on any boards and committees, so I'm anxious to get back to it. I love the library, and box lunch is a wonderful thing. So, you know, time is good and time is right, and I'm, you know, very ready to step up.
Okay. Alderman Wilshire, do you have anything to say concerning Liz?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I've known Liz for many years, mostly from the art scene here in Nashua. She's very dedicated and very devoted to everything she does, so I think she'd be a great fit for this Ira Harris lecture series. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you. Anyone from our committee have any questions for Liz? Alderman Lopez?
I waited, okay. So I just wanted to thank Ms. Buchapi for being willing to volunteer. I've definitely seen her involved in a lot of things through City Arts Nashua and involved in activities and events being organized downtown. So I think she has a great connection to the library through all the events that she's done. She has a passion for the arts. I think I saw her at the Edgar Allan Poe thing a couple of weeks ago. So thank you for being willing to serve and kind of jump in to offer your insights and your talents.
Thank you, Alderman Lopez.
Anyone else from the committee? Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Marjorie and Liz. We will take up your appointments later in the meeting, and you will be notified as to when to come in to be sworn in for your duties. And thank you so much for willing to participate in the trustees program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Megan Cook is on Zoom, Mayor.
Oh, is
Yeah, so
Ms.
this
Cook
is-
on Zoom?
Yep, so this is the Conservation Commission, and Megan Cook is your new appointment.
Yes, well, Ms. Cook has expressed an interest in being in the Conservation Commission and has, I think, talked with Sherry Dutsey, who's the very active chair of the commission. Ms. Cook has had definitely some professional experience, having worked for New Hampshire DES Watershed Bureau. She also worked for the Audubon Society, more recently with American Tower Corporation doing environmental compliance work. She's been very active in community organizations. She's a Girl Scout. Has been on the Girl Scout Council for the greater New Hampshire, Vermont area. She's done multiple, worked as a volunteer for various organizations. And she is some of which is listed in her resume, and she is a very passionate outdoors person, very involved with waterway protection in the past, and also loves to, you know, get out on the water canoeing and kayaking. So she is very well suited for the Conservation Commission, where we definitely need members, and therefore she will do a really good job for the city. I'm confident of that. And if Ms. Cook is here, she could get on and tell us a little bit about herself and about why she is interested in the Conservation Commission.
Megan? You're up.
Thank you. Sure. So I'm interested in joining the commission just because I'm passionate about natural resource management and protection, and I'd really like to get more involved at the local level in my own community. I've been doing some volunteering through the UNH Extension Natural Resource Steward Program for the past 3 or 4 years in different communities, but I would love to find ways to, I've been trying to find ways to give back to Nashua, and so I think the Conservation Commission is a really good fit.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the Personnel Committee? Alderman Lopez?
I know, she's a Girl Scout and she has a master's in sustainable resource management. I have no questions.
But what can you ask, right? Okay, anyone else? No? Okay, Megan, your nomination will come up later on the committee meeting, and you will be contacted as to when you will be sworn in. And thank you so much for your willingness to be part of the Conservation Commission. Thank you.
Now, Madam Chair, the next two, I do not believe Elizabeth Berry or Wei Lin are on Zoom, and I know they're not personally present.
Okay, so Elizabeth Berry is teaching a class, so
Okay.
she's going to try to come on. So we'll continue with the meeting and try to get her on as soon as she gets done her class, she'll Zoom in, okay?
All right, and.
All right, so
Jo-
Wei Lin is not here? No, so we'll have to take her up at the December meeting, Mayor.
That's good.
Okay.
And Josefina Perez, I think, is on Zoom, right?
Yeah, she is. So Josephine is being recommended for the Cultural Connections Committee. So-
Now, Josefina is a native of the Dominican Republic, where she was educated at a number of educational institutions, receiving a Bachelor of Science. Also, she now works as an LNA caregiver in Manchester. She's part of the Visiting Angels Home Care in Nashua. She, of course, is bilingual, is interested in our various ethnic communities, particularly, of course, those with her background from the Dominican Republic. And she would be certainly a great addition to the Cultural Connections Committee, the mission of which is to reach out into the community and engage our various ethnic communities in all of our neighborhoods. So I will ask Ms. Perez to tell us a little more about herself and of her interest in the Cultural Connections Committee.
Thank you. You're on, Josephina.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, I am Josefina Perez, like the mayor said, and I've been in Nashua for 3 years, and since I am here, I am just integrated with the community. In the Immigration Festival, I find out that our community was not representative, and I just was wondering if there is any way that we can integrate more people from our community, and that actually I am with the Equity Leader Fellowship in Manchester, and I am joining a lot of community, and we are just working in cultural programs for different community. And I've been here integrating in different festival, but just myself. And I think from the cultural committee, I can access or integrate more people to that part.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone from the committee have any questions for Ms. Perez? Alderman Lopez?
Thank you for being willing to serve, Ms. Perez. Have you attended any of the Cultural Connections Committee meetings in the past?
No.
Are you familiar with its mission?
Now I had just reading, they sent me all the information and I was reading about that.
Okay. I think you'll find it very interesting. Part of it is to facilitate access to the government on the part of minority communities and ensure that their voices are heard. So I look forward to your participation.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay. Ms. Perez, with, happy that you are willing to participate in the Cultural Connection Committee. Thank you. And we will vote on your nomination later on in the meeting. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so you have someone else here, though, Mayor,
Yes,
right?
please come up.
Elaine?
We have now Elena Cunha-Urgiles, who is also nominated for the Cultural Connections Committee. She is fluent in both Spanish and Portuguese. She's, of course, been educated here in New Hampshire and in Brazil. Here has gone to Hesser, Harvard University, Boston Language Institute, and as well as an institution in Sao Paulo. She works a job as a back office specialist focusing on the Latin American region, where of course she employs her language skills. And she's done that for a couple of different companies over a number of years. And she is been active here in the city and is interested, given her background and her interest in our ethnic community, she's interested in serving on the Cultural Connections Committee.
Thank you. Elena, would you like to give us a little bit of your history and tell us why you'd like to be on the Cultural Connection Committee?
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for having me here and for the invitation and being a little closer.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I've been living in Nashua for the past 28 years, a little going back to Brazil, to Ecuador, and spent a few years in New York, but Nashua is our home. I am married, 2 kids, UNH freshman, sophomore, I'm sorry, and a 8th grader. Well, I came here as an immigrant in 1993 with no English at all, just myself and my parents. And basically, it was a time that we saw very few immigrants, but now I'm so happy to see how Nashua has been conducting this embracing of new cultures and new, so many different, so much diversity. And I think I can be a good bridge to reach out to those people. At my time, it was a little difficult to probably step ahead, but now I see that with this committee, there is a lot we can do. And I've seen a lot.
Thank you. Anyone from the committee have any questions? Alderman Lopez?
I just want to thank you for serving. I think I'm encouraged to hear that things are better in terms of inclusion and diversity. I think even Mayor Donchis might be able to comment that we have some ways to go. It was a challenge to, for example, be able to show up on a radio station in Spanish if we can't find a translator, if we can't articulate complex ideas, that kind of thing. So we do have opportunities to grow. And I appreciate anybody who's willing to step forward to make sure that we're not leaving anybody out while we do so.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else? Well, thank you. You come highly qualified, and we're glad that you're willing to participate in the Cultural Connection. It has grown. I remember when it first started, so the community has embraced this commission, and the people who sit on it have really reached out to the community to help those who need help, to whether it's for business or for government information. So I think that's great. Your nomination will come up later in the meeting, and you will be notified about the Board of Aldermen meeting to get sworn in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And Mayor Elizabeth Barry is on Zoom.
Thank you.
So you'll be able to Elizabeth is being appointed to the Cultural Connection Committee as well, so,
Elizabeth Berry is a professor. She's worked for 17 years at the Nashua Community College. And she also is very active in community organizations in terms of engaging with some of our ethnic communities. She's worked as part of One Greater Nashua through the United Way, which was an outreach effort undertaken by them. She's worked with the Nashua Chamber of Commerce. She's been active in the City Multicultural Festival, where she was the committee chair. She's part of the Welcoming City initiative that we have here in Nashua. She's part of Welcoming New Hampshire. She is bilingual, and she is very involved in English for speakers of other languages out at the community college. She's been a speaker at various organizations regarding regarding related issues, and she, as you can see, is very well qualified to help us out with the Cultural Connections Committee. And with that, although I don't see her on the screen, we'll ask Ms. Berry to tell the committee a little bit about herself and of her interest in the Cultural Connections Committee.
thank you, Elizabeth, for making it here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I am actually teaching a class right now. So I'm on Zoom teaching a class, and I have someone working with my class right now. And so obviously I'm very excited and passionate about what I do here in the community. I've been working at Nashua Community College for 17 years. And I specifically teach English for speakers of other languages. And I work with students from a variety of backgrounds, different ages and abilities, and everywhere from refugees and all the way through the other end of the spectrum, which would be, we have some international students sometimes. And yes, and I love my work here. And part of my work is as department chair, I also oversee a lot of activities, including our multicultural club and outreach into the community. I work with businesses, business and industry also. There are many companies who are interested in working with their diverse employees to help them improve their English language skills, to give them further opportunities, which is also something that I'm very passionate about. And I love to go out to companies and work with them, not just for ESL classes, but about the other things that they can do to create a more welcoming environment in their work, in the workplace, and also a sense of belonging for people from all different diverse backgrounds. I found out about the Cultural Connection Committee because there is a lot of overlap in the things that I already do. And I was sort of joined together with a group of Cultural Connection Committee members doing the first Nashua Multicultural Festival. And then I also worked on the second one as well. And I thought it was a really wonderful group. And it would be an honor for me to serve on with those people as well in working further with the community of Nashua. So.
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. Anyone from the committee have any questions? Alderman Lopez?
I thought she was on the committee already. When she says overlap, she's not kidding.
so
She's like
too.
part of every major event. So thanks for being willing to do the last thing that you weren't doing.
Sure, yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm trying to, Alderman Lowe.
Thank you. Ms. Berry, do you reside in Nashua?
I don't actually, but I have to say I do everything in Nashua. So I live right up the road in Bedford, but I'm sad to say I don't have any connection to Bedford. My children no longer attend Bedford schools, and I spend all of my time here. I do all of my shopping here. I work 7 days a week. I also tutor on the weekends and do some volunteer work, and I'm literally here all day, every day in Nashua. So I really feel that Nashua is my home, although my house itself is not in Nashua.
No, thank you. I had just noticed that the address was the
community
college, and I,
college. Yes.
thank you.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Alderman Clemmons.
Well, like the committee where Alderman Lopez said you were a non-voting member or a fixture of the committee, you should move down here too, and then we can make that official as well. So.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your willingness to participate in the Cultural Connection with all of your knowledge and what you're doing and your expertise. I am sure you're going to be a big asset to that group and move on to bigger and better things within the Cultural Connection. So we will be looking to approve your nomination later in the meeting, and you will be notified when to come in to be sworn in. Okay?
Excellent.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so
And
much.
thank you.
And I hope that you'll please excuse me so I can go back to my class. I apologize for not being able to stay longer.
No, you're fine. Thank you for taking the time to be part of the meeting.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. So Mayor, we were able to get all but the one. So when Lee will have to come to the December meeting.
That's right.
Okay.
So that's all we have for
Yep.
tonight, and thank you very much, Madam
Okay,
Chair.
and just so you'll know, Director Kleiner is online, so we'll speak to her later in the meeting. Thank you.
All right, good.
Thank you. Okay, so applications to license hawkers, peddlers, vendors.
There are none.
Okay, so appointments by the Board of Aldermen and the mayor. And right here, we received a call that the reappointment of James Pyle for the Energy and Environment Committee, he is asked to be removed for reappointment as he no longer wishes to serve. So he will not be part of the motion. Now, since Donna is clerking for us, I would like someone from the Personnel Committee to make the motion for the appointments, and Donna will read them, so you don't get confused. Alderman Lopez.
I'd like to make the motion as stated with the amendment previously stated, and then speak to it.
Okay, so Alderman Lopez is making a motion to recommend the confirmation of the following reappointments.
To the Capital Improvements Committee, Robert Canaway with a term to expire August 1, 2022. The following new appointment to the Conservation Commission, Megan Cook with a term to expire September 31, 2024. The following new appointments to the Cultural Connections Committee, Elizabeth Berry, Josephina Perez, and Ilian Kuna Ergiles, all with terms to expire September 30th, 2024. The following new appointment to the Hunt Legacy Trustees, Harriet Young, with the term to expire December 31st, 2022. The following new appointments to the Ira F. Harris Lecture Trustees, Marjorie Bollinger Hogan and Liz Richapi, with terms to expire December 31, 2023. And the following reappointment to the Mine Falls Park Advisory Committee, Stacy Vignault, with a term to expire January 31st, 2024.
Okay, so you've heard the motion. Do we have any? Alderman Lopez.
Yeah, so I almost made an amendment with regards to Harriet Young, and I wanted to explain a little bit. I'm always concerned when somebody's appointed to a committee that they haven't been to, not just because, I mean, for that committee's integrity, you should be getting volunteers who are familiar with it and have a general idea of the work they do, but also for the person, like if they get into a situation that they were unaware they were being pulled into, that's not fair to them either. So I generally favor people who've been to the committees that they're being appointed to. Harriet was not the only one that hasn't been to the committee, though. There were two members that were appointed to Cultural Connections Committee, but I see a difference there because the work of the Cultural Connections Committee is reversed from a lot of other committees. Instead of it being Nashua citizens coming to help share governance and engage the government, I guess, the Cultural Connections Committee is an effort to try to engage Nashua citizens. So people who have experience as a cultural minority or an outsider, people who have learned a second language or a third language even, in some of the cases, in order to communicate, they understand what the city needs to get out of that community or that committee better than the committee, a single committee meeting could demonstrate. With Harriet, I was a little bit conflicted because I don't want to discourage anybody who's willing to serve and has a passion for getting involved, but I also don't want them to get in over their head. So I'm not too concerned, and I'm not necessarily inclined to make a motion to amend. I just wanted to speak on it because the term is a year long, so she has time to learn. But if she feels like she's, it's something that wasn't a good fit after all, she also has time that she can kind of not be overcommitted to it. So I hope I've expressed my commitment to having people nominated to committees that have some experience with, while also recognizing that maybe sometimes we're going to get people who just want to serve and they're willing to step forward with trust.
Okay, I understand. And usually those committees within the library, someone from the library who knows them personally from whatever, like the Bark Lunches or what have you, will approach them to see if they're willing to serve. So they may have told them what it was, and they felt that they could do it. And like, I agree, she has a year to decide whether it's something that she wants to continue on, because usually they stay for a long period of time, because they're not a group that's, they're not dealing with real heavy lifting.
Seems like, the Hunt Legacy Trust is like, I consider that pretty important, but also it seems like she's finishing out a term of some time.
Right, okay. Anyone else? Okay, so you heard the motion, and since we have no one online, all those in favor of the reappointments and new appointments, give me a yay.
Yay.
All right.
Yay.
Skip?
Yes, aye.
Okay, all right. Any noes? No? Okay, motion carried. 4-0. Thank you. Okay. So, we're at unfinished business, and I see Director Klein is here. We had a request at the last meeting concerning trying to put together a quarterly schedule for upcoming contract renewals, so that the Board of Aldermen would have kind of like a heads up. So Director Kleiner and Alderman Liu agreed that they would try to have a conversation concerning it, and Director Kleiner is online, so if you don't mind, I'd like to have her speak on it, and then we could have some discussion. Is that okay with you, Alderman Liu?
Yes.
Okay. Director Kleiner?
Yes, good evening.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
Yes, I'm sorry I could not attend this evening.
That's okay.
I'm dealing with a family medical issue. We did, Kelly Parkinson, our purchasing manager, did put together a report, and that was submitted to the committee. It was more difficult than we expected to go back, create from the past.
Hold on.
But she made her best attempt.
No, we can't
She
hear
is
you.
got-
We can't hear you, Director.
Director Kleiner, we had some noise.
I don't want to put
I
it too loud.
apologize. Can you hear me now?
No. We're getting feedback from here if we put it too loud, so.
I'll put it up a little bit more, but I'm
Okay.
afraid.
Yay.
Excuse me, ask her to speak closer to her microphone, that's why we have.
So Director Kleiner, they've asked if you could speak closer to your microphone. That's why we're getting the feedback.
Can you hear me now?
I'm sorry.
She said, can you hear me now? I can.
Okay, can everybody hear her?
My one good sense.
Barely.
I know. You want to try it again, Director Kleiner?
My apologies. Is this better?
Oh, yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay,
You're welcome. So again, I apologize for not being able to attend tonight. I'm dealing with a family medical issue. But Kelly Parkinson, our purchasing manager, put together a report, which we issued and gave to, Donna Graham to issue to the committee. It was more difficult than expected to go back and recreate, but Ms. Parkinson did her best. Moving forward, we expect that we can put more detail into this report, and we're happy to answer any committee's questions on any of the contracts that were contained within the report.
okay. Oh, okay, I think that because we didn't have a meeting last month, we didn't, I didn't see it.
Sent to all the board members, but it was not put on an agenda.
Wasn't put on the agenda. So Alderman Lou, did you have a chance to look at that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, since you're the one who has been working with Director Kleiner, do you
Yeah.
have any questions to her? As we talked about at the last meeting, when this came up, we wanted to see if we can work some kind of compromise so that it was not so cumbersome for staff in purchasing to put something like this together. I know Director Kleiner was willing to work with you on how to set this up and to make it easier for everyone to
Sure.
do that. So, do you have any, bless you?
Yes, if I could, Ms. Graham, do you recall when that was sent out? I saw it. I've just been trying to find it and couldn't find it in,
Yes, it was sent on or about October 4th.
okay. My thought was, and part of my concern is Ms. Kleiner, I think I responded to it, but then when I look back on my email, I'm wondering if I actually responded to myself. Did you get a response from me? Do you recall?
Director Kleiner?
My apologies. I'm sorry, Alderwoman Lou, I did not see a response. I'm happy to go back and.
No, that's okay.
But if I missed it, my apologies.
That's okay. We're trying to adjust it so we can hear Director Kleiner, and
So
we put it too high, we can't hear you.
Director Kleiner, you don't have to find it. For some reason, I think that when I sent it to you, it was addressed to myself instead. So I did look at it. It was very helpful. And my only comments were, it's really hard to read an Excel spreadsheet that's been turned into a PDF. And I wondered if it's possible to get it as an Excel spreadsheet, just so that it can be enlarged. But other than that, it seemed really comprehensive. I think another note I made was that it seemed more comprehensive than I had requested. But, I mean, that's not a problem. I'll accept that for now. But I had just thought contracts that are renewed regularly, like a contract for services that are ongoing for the city and which we annually or biannually or whatever, put to bid or need to renew. So they were the ongoing contracts that I had been hoping for. What you sent was really comprehensive, and so I'm happy that you sent that. Is it possible to receive it in another format so that it could be adjusted for, individual users as they choose?
Director Kleiner?
Absolutely, Alderwoman Lou. We'd be happy to submit it as an Excel document.
Okay. So do we have any other concerns or questions concerning the work that Director Kleiner and Alderman Lou did concerning contract renewals? Okay. I appreciate you willing to work with her, Director Clymer, to work with Alderman Lou. I don't think this was, I think this was just a correspondence, so I don't think we need to do anything with it. How about a motion to accept the information received from Director Kleiner concerning contract renewal quarterly reports?
So moved.
Okay. Alderman Cleaver has made the motion. Can I have a second?
I put my hand up and then I was gonna let
Oh,
Alderman Lou make the
okay,
motion because it's
thank
her
you.
idea.
Okay, so all in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Aye, no nays? Okay. 4 yeses. That motion is accepted. And whatever you can do to change the format would be great, Director Kleinmer. And maybe you would like to resend it to the board at some date? Right.
Yes, Chair,
Oh.
we will do that immediately.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Okay, new business resolutions.
There are none.
Okay, new businesses ordinances.
Reading of ordinance 21-071, removing the fine limitation on animal ordinance violations relating to dogs.
Okay, would someone make a motion? Alderman Lopez will make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend final passage.
Okay. All right, and we have Alderman Clee here, so would you like to speak concerning this ordinance that you and Alderman Lopez sponsored?
Yes, I would, Madam Chair. Thank you so much. I'd also like to mention that Amber Morgan is on Zoom as well, and she is the chair of the AdPAC committee, the Animal Dog Advisory Committee. So if there's any other questions, she would be able to answer this. This came about from the Animal Control Officer, the ACO. And he had noticed that we had certain fines for dogs, which was $25, no matter how many times it had been violated, et cetera, et cetera. But for other animals, we held the subparagraph 1-12 of the city code, which basically is I'd rather just call it like a generic code that's the one that goes up to $1,000. I think that Alderman Clemens is often referred to. And the reason for this, the reason why we decided to basically, we're just scrapping the except the violation of ordinance relating to dogs shall be punished by a fine of $25. It makes it easier for the courts, the police, and the ACO. It changes the law to essentially treat dogs equal to all other animals. We had different rules for a horse, a chicken, cat, anything else like that, but we had the $25 rule for the dogs. But it didn't allow them if there was, say for instance, they had a violation on Monday, then they had a violation on Wednesday, and then they had a violation 3 months later. It didn't allow them to go 25, 75. The committee sat and talked and discussed doing multiple things that maybe Portsmouth had done and Manchester had done. But to be honest with you, it just complicated things because then you had to, so that we could keep things all equal, you had to bring all animals in and there were different damages and so on that can be done. And I'm going to leave it at that, and if I may ask Ms. Morgan if she'd like to add anything to that, if that's okay with the chair.
Yes, that's fine. Ms. Logan, would you like to speak?
It says Amber Logue there, but it is Morgan. She is now Amber Morgan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Amber?
Can you hear me?
I think you'll need to speak up a little bit.
You need
Amber.
to speak up just a little bit more.
So I'll first apologize. My name on Zoom, I cannot change it. So it is my my prior married name, my maiden name. So Amber Morgan, 20 Locke Street. As Alderwoman Clee mentioned, I am the chair of the Animal and Dog Park Advisory Committee. And the motion before you is to strike the last line of the ordinance that has dogs as a special lower fee. And as Alderwoman Clee stated, we had discussed this back and forth for the past year and trying to figure out the appropriate wording that would make sense for everyone and also make the jobs easier, not just for the courts and our police officers, the animal control officer specifically. When he is not on duty, the other police officers would, they default to him first to when there is an animal issue. And so the way the ordinance is currently written, it doesn't really give them any clear definition of what they should do when it's a dog versus another animal. So this brings all animals to the same level and also helps with repeat offenders who may have a animal dog specifically that gets out very often. So this should make it pretty simple. We also wanted to make it simple for our Board of Aldermen to be able to support and get behind. So if there's any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. Does anyone from the committee have any questions? Alderman Clemens.
Thank you. How many fines do we give out for dog violations in a year?
That is an excellent question. I do not have that number in front of me. I can tell you that what we get is more the reports that we get each month are number of animal calls more than fines that are given. There are not very many. Last month, I know that we maybe had 1 or 2 max.
Is that fines or just calls?
Fines.
Fines, okay.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Alderman Lee.
Thank you so much. One of the key issues that the animal control officer did say, as we heard with the mask ordinance and so on, is they truly try education first. The fine is honestly the last effort to get people to be compliant. He has said that he's quite familiar with the offenders of any area, any particular area. So he does talk to them and he understands. And the reason why we didn't want to set a fine that said $25 is oftentimes you may have a dog that's an escape artist and you do everything in your power. And the courts would understand that, the police would understand that, and so on. And he didn't want to really punish people that are doing all the right things and just has a dog that knows how to unlatch it, turn the knob, and get out the door. And he did say that he has come across things like that. So education is always his first go-to on it, including educating them on how to better keep the animal under control and so on.
Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Okay, so you've heard the motion, you've asked some questions. So all those in favor of ordinance 0-21-071, vote yay.
Aye.
Okay. Any nays? None. Then motion carried. Thank you. Okay. So now we're here, we have public comment, and I don't see anyone. Is there anyone on Zoom? Doesn't look like it. General discussion? Anyone? Okay, remarks by the alderman? Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman
No, that's
Clemens.
okay. It falls under remarks by Alderman, I suppose. I just want to remind everybody to go and vote tomorrow. It's election day here in Nashua. And if you're not registered to vote, you can do that at the polls. Go do your civic duty.
Thank you. Anyone else? Alderman Lopez.
I just wanted to wish President Wilshire and Alderman Clemens good luck tomorrow, because the rest of us can still get out of this and they cannot.
Thank you.
Me too. Thank you. I was going to say the same thing. If you don't vote, you can't complain. So get out there, make your choices, win, lose, or draw. We're a community together, and that's how we survive and do great things for Nashua. All right, do we have anything else? I'm sorry, Alderman, I can't see what the.
Thanks, no problem. I just wanted to remind everyone that I have withdrawn from the race for Alderman of Ward 6, but I did it late, and so my name remains on the ballot. So please ignore that and vote for one of the other candidates. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Lou. Okay, so I need a motion to adjourn. Alderman Lopez.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, Alderman Lopez has made a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
Okay, no nays.
I said yay.
Okay, so the Personnel Committee is adjourned at 7:55 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And and I do want to thank Donna for staying.
You're very welcome. No.